Namaste, beautiful souls and Venus lovers. I have an astrology report for you today. This is Dr. Danny, physician astrologer. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I'm just so excited about everyone's enthusiasm for this kind of astrology. I've been geeking out on it for several years now, and I'm just thrilled that there's so many people that are interested in this. Today, we're going to talk about the new moon coming up on the 11th of January. That's right. It's a numerological moon. So 111, it's an angel number. 111 of 2024 of our 8-year. The title of this talk is Be Ready for Anything and Follow Your Truth. And I'm going to show you the astrology and why that is. So the new moon is essentially going to be in the orb of Pluto. This happens once a year. A few days later on the 20th, the sun is going to conjunct Pluto. So we're in a very powerful transformational cycle. And Chiron is conjunct our North Node as well. So this cycle is going to be dominated by healing and transformation. So Chiron and then Pluto. Now, the moon and sun, when they're conjunct, they're just within the transiting orb of Pluto. And the moon after the new moon is going to move forward towards Pluto, almost like our intuition. It's going to give us a sense of how this transformation is going to take place and reflect the roads ahead. And the reason I say be ready for anything is because Uranus is making some very interesting aspects as well. And we're going to get a clue as to what Uranus might actually do. So let me go into, before I dive into the chart, I want to share the screen and show you the sky. Because we do constellational astrology here. So if you're a tropical person, what you're going to find is that I'm using the actual sky, and I have a chart software program that reflects those that energy. If you're using tropical, that's fine. This energy is all over here in Capricorn, but it kind of takes a level of translation out of it if you use the actual sky. And so this is the sun moon conjunct in the constellation of Sagittarius. This is Mercury right at the heart of our galactic center, and Venus, beautiful Venus right here, just in the center of the Scorpio and Ophiuchus energy. We have Saturn in Aquarius. We've got Jupiter and Uranus in Aries. And then Mars is also in the mix here. Right here, just entering Sagittarius last week. Okay, so this is basically what the sky looks like. Right now, there's a lot of energy right here in the galactic center, a lot of energy in that, higher spiritual wisdom of Sagittarius. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart, and then we will dive into the astrology here. Let me get out my pen. Okay, so here it is. Sun, moon, right here at the heart of Sagittarius, just within the orb of Pluto. You have Chiron conjunct the North Node, and then Uranus making some aspects onto the moon sun, as well as some minor aspects to both of the nodes. So we'll get into all of that. So what is the sun and the moon? So we have a new moon. So lunar cycles give us sort of a monthly flow of energy, how we should deal with pretty much anything. And a new moon is the beginning of a cycle. So as that moon is waning into the new moon, it's a time to plant seeds, set intentions, and begin working on that next cycle of creation, that next cycle of expression, that next cycle of understanding. So you have the inner and the outer self. The sun is the highest expression of our outer self, and the moon is the inner feminine magnetic expression of ourself. And they're all in the realm of Sagittarius, which is the highest truth. It's faith, it's optimism, it's Jupiter's house. Now, Uranus is going to be making a trine on this energy right here. Uranus is still retrograde. And Uranus is electric. It's fast. It's your nervous system. Uranus attains enlightenment by mutating, by metamorphosizing, by changing things the way they've always been done. So you may actually surprise yourself because it's trining on the self energy, the inner self and the outer self. And it's in the constellation of Aries, which is the self. which is the confident expression of the self, a new beginning. So all this energy is really synchronous right here. So you may surprise yourself, or something may surprise you. And as we get a little bit further into this presentation, I will talk about these minor aspects that Uranus is doing to the nodes, and that may give us a clue of what's actually going to happen with Uranus. Okay, so we'll get into that. Now, the sun and the moon in this particular new moon are T-squaring our lunar nodes. And our collective lunar nodes speak about our collective destiny. The South Node being where we come from, the karmic patterns we're trying to break free from, and the North Node represents our evolutionary milestone in this lifetime. So the North Node is in Pisces. Pisces is love. It's higher love. It's oneness. It's dissolving boundaries and merging into the other. So this to me is about a collective destiny of universal love and oneness, while Chiron speaks to our collective wounds of the subconscious. And in Pisces, it's disconnection from that oneness. It's disconnection from spirit. That's the wound. But we're healing that. That's our evolutionary journey right now, is to heal those wounds, or at least accept them, because Chiron really doesn't like to heal the wounds. He wants you to see them. He wants you to remember them and take them with you as you evolve, so that you can teach that energy. All right, so right there, we've got the inner and the outer self having a tension or being called to an action of some sort. Squares are like energy that comes at you that you really either don't want to deal with, but ultimately, if you use it constructively, it helps you let go. So you can use this as an opportunity to let go of the karmic patterns and make decisions towards the collective evolutionary destiny. So set intentions on this new moon for your evolution. This is very important. We're all here to evolve. We're all here to learn about what it means to be a human, and to bring that energy back to the creator, back to the oneness, back to the light. Saturn semi-squares. So I'm going to talk about some minor aspects too, because Saturn is doing a sesquiquadrate to the South Node, and then semi-squaring both the North Node and Chiron, as well as the new moon. So there's a subtle tension here with Saturn and the self embracing both sides of that mirror. What do I mean when I say mirror? Well, Saturn sees the self, but doesn't see the self as self, sees the self as others, and has a lot of things to say about it, you know? And so this new moon, in order to set intentions for your evolution, we may need to sit with ourselves, look in that proverbial mirror of self, and embrace what we see, love what we see, love the wounds, know they're there, understand that we have weaknesses, that we have downfalls, but that we're still perfect, because those are opportunities to learn and to understand why we're here. Saturn wants us to attain enlightenment, and he does that by helping us realize we create our own prisons. Every decision we make, every path we decide to take one more step on, Saturn will crystallize that reality around us. And so where are those choices coming from? Are they coming from disdain of others? Or are they coming from true, authentic love of the self and love of others? And that's what that subtle tension says there when it's semi-squaring on moon, sun, and then making those minor aspects onto our nodes and to Chiron as well. So there may be parts of you that you don't like when you look in that mirror, and that's okay. Don't judge. Look at yourself look at that other person in the reflection and know that they're you, and embrace them. And have the same compassion for that side of yourself as you do for yourself. Mercury is conjunct our galactic center right here. Mercury attains enlightenment through transmission and reception of knowledge. So the best thing to do with Mercury energy, especially when it's retrograde, going direct, moving around like it has been the last few weeks, is to balance that receiving and transmitting. If you're transmitting too much, you might not be receiving the things that you need to hear. The Galactic Center is a very, very powerful source. It's literally the source of our creation. It's the energetic center of the black hole that powers our Milky Way galaxy. That is the source of the star that we spin around. And the star is the source of the planet that we sit on. So we're all connected to this cosmic matrix. And Mercury is transmitting and receiving that information from that very powerful space. Like if you look at that picture I just showed you a few moments ago, that's where Mercury is. Now, Mercury squares on Neptune, Neptune in Pisces. So this to me, this just feels like, now a square, remember, is tension. And Mercury sitting at the galactic center feels like the ultimate cosmic truth. Well, Neptune in Pisces might be illusions. It might be illusory media. It might be sources coming from the outside trying to influence what that truth might mean to us. And so I feel like this square is the mind control of the media and everything externally that we absorb. So the way that we can use this square consciously, like if you are susceptible to outside influences speaking at you, turn it off. Turn me off. You know, I'm one of those influences. I'm one of those voices. And if it doesn't resonate with you, turn me off. If you love it though, like the video and subscribe to my channel. But that's the energy, right? What I might be saying to you might be an illusion for you. I know when I listen to the news, that shit is all illusion. I turn it off because it influences me, it triggers me, it makes me angry. Now, I still stay aware, I still listen to what's going on, but I don't let it influence my heart, influence my mind, or influence me emotionally. So when you turn your antenna on to receive, make sure what you're getting is authentic. Make sure it resonates with who you truly are. And then, more importantly, be truthful when you transmit. So there's another intention that we can set during this new moon cycle is to really take an awareness of what we're receiving and then what we're transmitting. Now, the title of this talk also talks about Venus and Ophiuchus. And this is just amazing energy. This is recognizing the divine creator within yourself. Because Venus is right now at the galactic center. Remember, that's the source of creation. That's the source of everything that we see around us right now. And Venus being the divine principle, the flow of creative energy, the energy that manifests by simply being in her light, is now in the very center of is in the very center of that space. So here we can heal the relationship with the creator, recognizing that creator within. You guys, Venus here in this energy says that you are divinity. I mean, and that energy trines and sextiles are nodes, okay? So yes, you are the creator. You crystallize everything around you. You make choices. So I'm just going to step out of this for a second because I am doing a Venus practicum. You guys know that I'm a Venus specialist. I've been studying her movements for quite a while now, and I'm coming to some very incredible conclusions about this energy. Let me first show you this picture. This is the very first slide of the Venus Practicum that I am holding. It's going to be a live course. We're going to get together for about 2 to 3 hours on a live Zoom call, and I want you all to join me, okay? I'm going to give you everything that I've been learning about Venus, and maybe even more. We're going to learn, of course, how to use Venus in astrology, but we're also going to take a deep dive and truly understand this energy, okay? So what got me going was this particular book, and I will leave a link to this book in the comments or in the description of this video. So if you guys want to start reading it and get ready for the course, I'm just going to read this excerpt from you. This is the beginning of the book. There is much misconception by the human minds of the function of Venus as a principle and as a planet. It is often associated with desire and sex. This book clears such misconception and hints at the glory, the beauty, and the experience of Venus. It also hints at the process of purification and detachment from the matter through a proper understanding of and working with the Venus principle. Venus stands for pure love and wisdom and immortality. It also paves the way to build the etheric body and the vehicle of light. The secrets of that are hidden in the Venus principle. So this is very divine Sophia, Mary Magdalene type energy, with Venus being in the center of the Galactic Center, trining on Chiron and the North Node, and sextiling our South Node. So I really want to see you guys in this practicum because this is going to be such amazing information. Here's the course. I'll leave a link for it. Basically, you enroll in the course, pay the course fee of $33, and right here is information on how to join the live call. Now, if you can't join the live call, but you still want this great price, go ahead and do this now. And then once the course is recorded, you go back to this curriculum page that you've enrolled in, and the video will be there for you, as well as a resource document that you can use and reference back to, even download for your own astrology practice, or if you want to start studying your own Venus information. After the course goes live, this practicum is $58 because this is going to be the first step in a Venus specialty certification program that I am starting, okay? So if you are interested in doing that, this is the first step, okay? And I would do it now because I do have to raise this price. There's a lot of back end stuff that has to go on with this. And so if you join me live or you purchase this course before we go live, you get this great price and the resource document and the opportunity to have a certification in Venus specialty, okay? So I digress. I'm going to get back into the chart. We're going to continue this talk because there's so much more left to go. Here we go. We'll talk about the bigger planets and Mars right here. So Mars is making a trine to Jupiter. Let me get the pen back out. Right here. This is Mars making a trine to Jupiter here, and a sextile to Saturn, okay? So you see Saturn is making a sextile to both Mars and Jupiter, and Mars is making a trine to Jupiter. So we'll talk about this energy here in just a minute here. So this pattern between Mars and Jupiter and sextiling Saturn suggests that the energy is very good for taking action as if you were divinity, and you are divinity because I just told you that about your Venus. Like, recognize that your creative light, your source, the part of you that is source, is now, the energy is really right for you to take action. Mars is action, right? And Jupiter is expansive. And Saturn is crystallization of your decisions. So there's almost a divine faith and confidence here. And then with Jupiter and Saturn in a sextile, this just reminds us that with this great power that we have, comes great responsibility. So there's an opportunity for integrity or an opportunity for going over the top. We all have free will here, but there are rules to respect. So what are you going to create? What is your intention? How are you going to set that intention and really, really make this work? So Saturn also sesquiquadrates our South Node and semisquares the North Node. So that's that creative tension. What are you going to create? You just have to make a decision, you know? And so if we're talking about the nodes, if we're talking about evolution, let's let it be towards universal love and oneness. Now, I did also mention in the beginning that Uranus is going to do something unexpected, or we might surprise ourselves with what we're able to do. And I wanted to just maybe see if there was a clue in these minor aspects that Uranus was making to see if we could figure out what that might be. So we're not too surprised. I mean, obviously we can't control everything. Obviously we have to go with the flow when unexpected things come at us. So no matter what surprises Uranus brings, this quincunx to the South Node and the sesquiquadrate to the North Node, I'm sorry, a semisquare to the North Node and a sesquiquadrate to Mercury. This suggests to me that we sit with the self and differentiate the self from the non-self, and remember how strong you actually are. Remember that we're going to be in an area where the information coming in might be false, it might be imaginative, it might be illusionary, and it's not ours. But then there's an ability with the connection between Mercury at the Galactic Center, doing this little sesquiquadrate here. What is that truth? Is that truth truly you right here at the Galactic Center? So you have to ask yourself. So yeah. So this is basically a sit with the self energy. What are you creating? Is it truly you? And I think that's what the surprise is. So you might surprise you and be, oh my gosh, can I create that? The answer is yes. This is a great cycle for starting that. All right, there's one more aspect I wanted to touch on with you, and I think that's everything that we need to talk about. I really just wanted to give you guys that energy of Venus and Ophiuchus. Venus is also going to make a minor aspect to Pluto. This is a semi-square. This is a subtle tension. This is a decision point because Pluto is about transformation and Venus is about creation. So this feels like what decision are you going to make? You have all these opportunities to make great decisions or poor decisions. You're going to learn the lessons if they're poor decisions and you're going to move on, but that decision point, that splits your reality. So you can go this way or you can go this way. So just recognize it. You actually have this power of creation and it is so strong and it is so powerful, but you have to be tapped into the inner authentic you and what your purpose is here on this realm. All right, guys, I think that's everything. Let me just show you a couple more things and we'll close it out. Join the Fellowship of 13 Signs on Facebook. I'm going to leave a link for that. I also have a Facebook page, Dr. Danny, Physician Astrologer. If you want to follow that, I post there several times a week. Sometimes I go live on there. Sometimes I'll just post funny stuff. So if you want to follow me personally, you can do that. Dr. Danny, Physician Astrologer. I'll leave that down there. Also, the Facebook group, Fellowship of the 13 Signs. You can also get a reading. I post those links as well. I'm doing this add-on thing where if you want to get a natal chart, you can add on a Venus transits for a really, really deep discount. So I will leave that link below for you as well. Please like this video if you love it. Please subscribe if you're lurking. And I will be touching base with you guys in the next few days about that Venus practicum. So I hope you join me. I'm super excited to give you this information. Have a wonderful new moon. Namaste.